and welcome to our show. I'm Dave.
I'm Addison.
I'm Lisa.
I'm Jeremy, and we'd like to welcome our special guest, Sydney, to the show.
Hi.
So today we're going to talk about tattoos, and what was very interesting when I met Sid is that she designs her own tattoos.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it's different where some people will go to a tattoo artist, request the design, and they will do it. But can you explain to her how you do it?
I go and I draw my own tattoos at home. So I find out what I exactly want, like the meaning I want behind it, what I want it to portray, essentially. And then I draw it up, I do a rough sketch. I kind of actually get people to like tell me how they think of it, or whoever I want the meaning to go towards, I'll ask their opinion. And then
How long do these tattoos take for you to actually draw and actually make up?
it all depends on the size of them. My one on my back, it took me probably a month or so to just get down exactly how I want it.
Now, what one is the meaning of your back? Can you tell us?
It's for both of my grandmothers, actually. So my mirror is the mirror that my nanny had given me when I was a young girl.
Beautiful.
And then my pearl necklace is the necklace my Oma had given me when I was baptized.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
I suppose everybody has their own reasons for getting tattoos.
Or piercings.
Or not getting
piercings.
piercing.
Yeah. I have 3 tattoos, and each tattoo does have a little bit of a story to it. My very first one was on my ankle, because I just think it's so sexy, especially in high heels. The other one, and we will show you our tattoos later on, is I wanted a butterfly that symbolizes my change.
Of course.
But then when I was looking up the different designs, I actually came across a fairy, and I thought, wow, that's so beautiful. And I thought, yeah, I want a fairy to grant me my wish. So I combined the butterfly wings with the fairy for that tattoo. And then my third tattoo was a dove flying free, which symbolized my new freedom, that I was finally released from the male world.
Now that it's on you, do you feel free?
Oh, yeah. and we were talking earlier, I mean, what does the tattoos mean for you?
Well, tattoos, I go to the tattoo parlor. As soon as they start drilling me with the ink, it does something amazing. I get like erections, and I totally get a hype, like I'm hyper. I'm excited, I'm stoked, I'm ready for that
Even
tattoo.
like the lead up towards it, you're just like,
And it really shows later on in the day, too, after his tattoos.
So you obviously don't have tattoos.
No.
And yeah, you've never opted for a tattoo. Are you ever going to think about getting a tattoo?
Maybe.
Have you any ideas? Or?
Not yet, no.
a lot of people say that like they don't want tattoos because they don't know what they want. So that's a lot of people's excuse for not having them.
Right.
They haven't found something meaningful.
Yeah, that plus I don't want to have regret afterwards.
And there's another thing that a lot of people do too is they're not sure what it's going to feel like. They figure it's going to like really, really hurt because they hear it's these needles and it's always poking you.
It's not that.
Well, that's not a lot of a misconcept that a lot of people.
See, when I first got tattoos, I was always afraid of the dentist chair and that drilling. Every time they go to put it up to your mouth, you're like, oh. And as soon as they start my tattoo, I like tense up. Exactly.
When I was getting my ribs done, I was in permaflex mode. He's like, are you flexing? My feet.
No, with my story with tattoos a few years back, I'll go back a few years, I won't tell you how many. I grew up in a very conservative country, so back then anybody that got tattoos was generally the bikers or the real tough guys. But as I progressed in life, I realized that it's an art.
It is an art.
It's a body accent. It's like an accessory to you. Yeah.
I'm seeing now like 60 and 70-year-old ladies going with their granddaughters just to get their name, just because they think it's sexy or very.
Yeah.
Like it's coming big. It's like piercings. Like I have 18 piercings, and I'm like, I thought I only had my 2 ears pierced. That was it. And now I've got 18 piercings, and I just find I want more.
I feel like the body is a canvas, though. Like you have that opportunity to just like make art on yourself.
It's actually funny that you said that. Dave was there when I got the one tattoo, and he goes, "Where do you want it?" I said, "This way." So they put it up and said, "That where you want it? Does it look good there?" "Well, it's on your body." I said, "Hey, you're the artist. I'm just the canvas."
Yeah.
And that's what I tell them.
Exactly.
When I was getting this one, I wanted it in the middle of my back. Like, that's just too random. You want to accent your body. Like, they actually treat this like it's a canvas and they're painting on you. Like,
well, it's also the artist's work, too.
You have to remember when you die or if you've had a car accident, your piercings and tattoos
identify you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I noticed when I had my car accident 12 years ago. That's how they identified me, is by my tattoo and piercings.
Well, that was when my daughter passed away. They come to question us, and it's like, was there any distinctive markings? And it was like, yeah, she's got wings across her shoulder blades, and it has William, her brother's name in it.
Yeah.
And it was like, it was her. And that was the only way that we could identify, because we weren't allowed to see her before she actually was.
It makes you unique. It makes you you. It just adds to you, because I had someone tell me that they didn't want them because they're going to keep all of their memories up here.
I look at it as a story of your life. It's a story of your life.
Each tattoo has a story to it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, all my animals that I have is the personality that I showed to other people.
Your life experiences are put onto you. It's just kind of like saying how you lived your life, and it's just...
So I don't think it's just about, everyone says it's always in your heart. Mm-hmm. And I don't think, like Addison would know, because she doesn't have any tattoos. She keeps her memories all in her heart. So she'll remember that for life. But my memories, with friends, I've gotten piercings with all my friends. And each one of my piercings represents someone who walked with me into that tattoo artist.
Yeah.
And got that piercing, the same piercing as I did.
I've done that as well. Yeah, with my belly button, I went with a friend and we went and did that together.
After 3 weeks of me and Jeremy being together, Jeremy got his tongue pierced. I ended up getting a lower piercing, a genital piercing, and that's our meaning of part of my life, that this is how we began our life together.
Yeah.
But I suppose there's also two ways. Some people could have their tattoos, but only it's for themselves, so it's not visible. Like most of my tattoos, with the exception on my ankle, people don't get to see it. Only those lucky few that...
See, but that's because you're a lady. You ladies are more conservative and can't take your shirt off. Like, all my tattoos, I have 6 tattoos in total. I have 3 on my shoulders, and the rest are on my back. So when I take my shirt off in public and walk in the summer, everyone can see the beautiful heart on my back.
Yeah, I have all mine hidden, and it's kind of just because they're personal. They're for me. They're not because I want to show them off.
Mine is in the same thing.
Yeah.
Well, that's like the one on my chest, the memorial for my daughter. You know, I've been told, like, well, if you take your shirt off, everyone's going to see it. It's like, that's what my daughter would want. She was a people person.
She's part of you.
She was a people person, and where it's located, it's a big rose, and the actual center of the rose is right above where my heart is.
So that's why she was something smile, $1 million smile.
Yeah, she had anybody that you would ask that knew her around Niagara Falls is like, you know Krista? It's like, who? It's like, Krista. Oh, you mean the girl with the $1 million smile? That's what everybody knew her as.
Wow.
You know?
What a good legacy to have.
She actually hit really good with a couple of local charities, or a local charity in the area, that she helped with the kids in different events, and they named the Youth Volunteer of the Year award after her.
Now you have to look at this too. For us guys, we're macho. I know women are starting to show their macho side, but unfortunately, guys can't just go out and buy high heels and walk around in heels like you, Addison. So you have to look at it that way. It's just one of those things. If you have an addiction to heels, if you have addiction to
Teddies.
Earlier that it's like addiction.
Yeah, it is. Like, I got all 3 of mine a month apart. Like, it was January, February, March. It happened just all in a row because I had this rush from it. And like when I first went and got my first one, I told no one. I went and did it by myself. It was just something I had planned and I needed to do.
Now I'll ask the question, what did your parents think? I remember going home with my first tattoo. What did you do to yourself? Are you ever in trouble? I think I got picked to my room that day.
You know what? I kept it from them for months. I did not sleep. I had so much guilt because I didn't tell them. And then eventually I came out, I was like, you have to promise not to get mad. The whole pre-speech. And then when I showed my mom, she's like, they're beautiful. And she was so happy. She's like, honey, come see what Sydney did. And she was like, and then, well, my dad already had tattoos, so he was okay with it. And really, it was not a big deal. It just felt like a casual conversation, and that was it.
Well, I'm going to hear that beauty script from my mother probably next week because I'm going in for a big Celtic cross right on the middle of my back. And you can't hide that when you take your shirt off. You can't.
Okay, I have a question for you, for everybody. How do you deal with the pain of the tattoo? Because it's obviously, there's some pain.
I cheat. I do a little cheat.
I also cheat.
I take Tylenol breeze and muscle relaxants before I go in, just so I can just really pass out. Like I said, my last tattoo, I fell asleep right on the table.
You know what? This is when I was super into working out, and the whole time I was laying there, I was like, squats hurt more, squats hurt more. The whole time. When I told my artist, he's like, that's weird, but okay.
Okay, when I'm getting the tattoo and I'm going through the pain, I say, okay, this is my last tattoo, this is my last tattoo. And then I get it done, and then I look at it afterwards and I think, wow, okay, what do I get next? Yeah.
It's effective. It's
The one that hurt, or didn't hurt, but had the most pain was the one on my chest. When he was doing the top part of it, it actually felt like he was tattooing across my throat.
I had mine right here, and it felt like I was being carved into.
Yeah. And as he was doing it, it was an hour and 45 minutes for the outline. Okay.
And that's the most painful part, is the outline.
Because it's not only that, it's right on my sternum, so there's no meat, it's skin and bone.
Yeah.
That's it. And it was an hour and 45 minutes. I had a 10-minute break for a cigarette after the outline was done, and it was another 45 minutes for shaving on top of that. So it was 3 hours laying on my back, looking up, and you can't even look while they're doing it.
No, you can't.
So I'm just like laying there, and it's just hitting. It's like, this is starting to hurt. This is starting to hurt. This is starting to hurt.
You know what else I hate?
I turn around, and it was like, after I said it was starting to hurt for about a half an hour, just tension and tensing up and sweating.
Okay, I talk about sweating. I
have to tell you this before we go on. We're not going. You know what the worst feeling is when you're tattooed and you can't see what they're doing and you feel that they're going to screw up. Like I always think I won't get an ugly tattoo when I go in.
Yeah, for this one I'm just like, oh, what's happening back there?
But when he was, after that, I was sitting there going, you know what? This does not hurt as bad as I hurt when my daughter passed away.
Yeah, you just think it's going to hurt more.
And it's going to be beautiful when it's done. And I went with a friend of mine. She took me up to get it done. And she took a couple pictures of it just before all the shading was done. And I couldn't even look at it. I just glanced at the picture and I looked away. I got up off the table when it was done, looked in the mirror, and I just lost it.
Oh, really?
Like the emotion, the tears came, the emotion was there. It's like, I waited a year for this. And it's now the beginning piece. My whole upper body, from the waist to here, just the upper torso, is, when it's all said and done, is going to be a whole memorial piece to my daughter.
That's incredible.
Beautiful.
So,
yeah. I also think of positive things. Like I was seeing someone at the time when I got this one done, and I'm just like, yep, they like me. They like me. I don't know why that was my thought. I was like, someone likes me, this has to happen.
Well, we're going to have to, Addison, if you decide to get a tattoo, we're going to have to film that.
Oh yeah.
And
when you decide to get a tattoo, I will take you to my friend to get you a tattoo.
I'll even pay for it.
She is light-handed,
Cheerleaders.
And I will film it for you.
and she is very light-handed. You know, she's not a gouger, you know. And that's another thing with a lot of artists, you gotta watch where you go, because some of them will sit there and when they get ready to tattoo you, they just drop the gun on your skin and let the weight of the gun do the job. And it like hurts like an SOB, it gouges, it pinches, it pulls, because they don't have guns fast enough just to do that,
Yeah.
you know.
I've actually got a video of when I got the dove done.
Anyways, Cindy, thank you for coming on the show.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm Dave.
Addison,
I'm Lisa,
I'm Jeremy.
and thank you for coming on to our show.
You're welcome. So much fun.
It has been.
Yeah.
And we hope that you'll join us to our next show. And we will be showing pictures of all our tattoos,
Yeah.
and maybe with a bit of the meaning behind the tattoos.
Brief info.
Brief info.
Yeah.
Little caption under each picture.